So I've been using the Mini 3 for about, well, a very long time now. I think it's getting closer to 7 months of using the Mini 3 Pro. And in today's video, I want to give you 20 reasons of why I think the Mini 3 Pro is worth getting. So let's just cut to the chase and move over to reason number 1. The Mini 3 Pro is extremely portable, which makes traveling easier and more comfortable. So the time it takes for this little beauty to get up into the air, I would say about a minute. From you take it out of your bag, remove the gimbal cover and extend the arms, connect it to your controller, about a minute or so until you are capturing your first sequence. And for transporting your drone, it folds up nicely and can be placed in your jacket, your camera bag, or the small Mini 3 shoulder bag, which I will come to in a bit. And even if we see the same portability and slightly smaller form factor in the previous Mini models, it's still a huge advantage for the Mini 3 Pro since it also has more features than the older models. Now, reason number 2 is of course gonna be the weight. This tiny drone only weighs 249 grams, which means in certain countries you only have to register your drone to fly and you don't need a drone license. Now, because of the low weight and small size of the Mini 3, it's easier to get around and capture high quality videos with a tap of a button. So for a lot of people, including myself, the low weight of this and portability makes everything easier and is the number 2 reason for getting this drone. So the weight, 249 grams, with all the features and everything that you get with this drone, definitely worth it. So reason number 2. Reason number 3 is of course going to be the propellers and the sound that the Mini 3 makes. Now, the sound level of this drone is amazing. You can barely hear it a few meters away, which helps take away all the attention you might get when flying a bigger drone like the Air 2S or the Mavic 3. And because of the low noise level coming from the Mini 3 Pro, your neighbors might actually accept that you have a drone a little bit more. Now, moving over to reason number 4. The Mini 3 can shoot videos up to 4K 60, which allows you to slow the footage down in post-production. But not only does it allow you to slow the footage down, it also creates a more natural and lively look to the eye. So if you're not into the cinematic look, but you want to capture a more realistic look, which gives you the feeling of actually being there, recording in 4K 60 FPS and having a 60 FPS timeline will give you exactly that. Now, reason number 5 is the cinematic capabilities of this drone. As mentioned, the Mini 3 Pro can shoot 4K up to 60 FPS, but it can also shoot HDR in 24, 25, and 30 FPS. Like most filmmakers which shoot in 24 FPS, including myself, the closer to 24 FPS you get, the more natural the motion will appear to the eye. And by recording your videos in HDR, it means you have more control over your highlights and shadows in post-production. And it also gives you more dynamic range, hence HDR, high dynamic range. Now, for the average user of the Mini 3 Pro, it might be more satisfying shooting in 4K 60, but having the ability to shoot 4K HDR is a huge advantage for the Mini 3 Pro. Now, reason number 6 is slow motion. Slow motion is always fun and can be used in many scenarios, either for shooting some super cinematic slow motion sequences or to have some fun playing at the pool. Now, each person will also have a different perspective on how to use and when to use the slow motion feature, but for me, it's definitely most used when I'm filming with my family. Now, the 1080 120 FPS video coming from this drone, it's not the greatest, but if you use it in proper sunlight, you will still get a good image. Now, I wish that we saw at least 2.7K at 120 FPS with this drone, but I guess that is being saved for the Mini 4. So talking about the image quality coming from this drone, reason number 7 is the picture profiles. So the Mini 3 Pro gives you the option to also shoot in 10-bit D-CINELIKE color profile, which is huge for any content creator wanting more dynamic range and flexibility in post. The D-CINELIKE color profile is a half-flat profile which gives you more color control over highlights and shadows, and also allows you to manipulate colors and push them further. My new signature LUTs were also developed with the use of the Mini 3 3 Pro's D-CINELIKE color profile. So if you want the best LUTs for your DJI drones, check them out below. And it doesn't really matter which drone you use, to be honest. These LUTs works perfectly with any DJI device or any camera for that matter, and they allow you to easily color match your entire video despite being shot on different cameras with different profiles. So down below, if you want to check out my signature LUTs, the discount ends soon. So moving straight over to reason number 8, which is QUICKSHOTS and MASTERSHOTS. For any beginner or experienced drone pilot, having QUICKSHOTS and MASTERSHOTS can definitely make your life easier. This is also two features we've seen for years with the older DJI drones, so you might already be familiar with how they work. Now with the QUICKSHOTS, you mark your subject and choose any of the selected modes, either drone, helix, rocket, circle, boomerang, or asteroid. This adds the extra spice to your video as the drone will focus on doing the maneuver for you and you can let go of the sticks, allowing better shots of yourself if you're a solo content creator. Now if you want something from all the modes, you can actually switch over to MasterShots and the Mini 3 will shoot a sequence of all modes and then generate a video at the end. So it's a really nice feature to have if you want some extra footage to choose from. Now moving over to reason number 9, and this was the biggest talking point when this drone was first released, and I mean vertical shooting mode. So DJI had a goal to make the Mini 3 Pro the most versatile and the best drone for any content creator shooting vertical videos, horizontal videos, and posting on both or only Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, and any other social media platform. And if you ask me, I think they nailed it. I never thought I would use the vertical shooting mode as much as I have. And like I said in my Mini 3 long-term review, I use it every single time I'm out flying with this drone. Now, since YouTube is my main platform, I always start with horizontal videos, but at the end of my flight, I always go over to vertical mode and shoot some photos and videos for Instagram. It's hands down my favorite feature, and I love the fact that most features are now working in both horizontal and vertical mode. So if you're into both Instagram Reels, photography, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, and normal horizontal videos, it's a huge advantage for the Mini 3 Pro. So moving over to reason number 10, which is as simple as firmware updates. So the Mini 3 Pro has received some major firmware updates over the past months, which has improved this drone drastically. So at the beginning, it was some struggles with QUICKSHOTS and we had some issues with HYPERLAPSE where the image wasn't stabilized at all, and there's also been a huge amount of issues reported with the range of this drone. So over the past 6 months, this has received now some major firmware updates which has eliminated most of those issues. So if that was the reason why you didn't pick up the Mini 3 Pro when it first came out and you're still holding off, you know, it's now is the reason to get one of these, because there is no longer any range issues and there's no issues with HYPERLAPSE or QUICKSHOTS, and it's just the perfect tiny little camera for your travels. So straight over to number 11 here. This is HYPERLAPSE Cruise Control. So the HYPERLAPSE Cruise Control is somewhat similar to the other HYPERLAPSE modes we see in the Mini 3 Pro, but it allows you to get going faster. The way it works is that you bind your C1 or C2 button to HYPERLAPSE Cruise Control and then start flying in any direction, and when you have the speed and angle you want, you tap on the button bound to the cruise control and you can now let go of the sticks. Now it's definitely faster if you want to capture some basic hyperlapses going from side to side, forward or backwards. You just set the speed, tap the button, and you're good to go. Or make sure to tap the record button first, otherwise it won't work. But if you want some advanced hyperlapses, I do recommend that you try any of the other hyperlapse modes, because they at the end takes a little bit longer to set up, but it gives you the best result if you're looking for hyperlapse. Now reason number 12 is the latest firmware. So the Mini 3 Pro received a firmware update which now allows the user to further customize and personalize their drone. With the gain and expo settings, you can personalize how you want the drone to behave when you push the sticks. For example, if you want the drone to be super responsive or not. The new gain and expo also allows you to adjust the parameters of the gimbal and the aircraft. I also have a full in-depth video going through all the the settings, which I will leave down in the description below. But this is a huge plus for the Mini 3 Pro and a big reason to consider this drone as your first or as an addition to your setup. Now, reason number 13 is of course battery, and battery life is the most crucial part of any drone. You want as much battery as possible when you go out to fly, and you can actually never get enough batteries. With the Mini 3 Pro, you have a stated 34 minutes of battery life in optimal conditions. But let's face it, none of us is ever gonna fly a drone in optimal conditions. We have to consider the environment we're flying in, and wind also has a huge impact on the battery life. Also the temperature, altitude, distance, and speed you're flying at. So the average flight time for the Mini 3 Pro will be about 24 to 26 minutes or 25 to 26 minutes. Also depends on how you fly and your flying style. But 25 minutes in such a small and compact drone is actually quite impressive. You can also get the Plus batteries. Unfortunately, they are not sold here in Europe or Norway, so I can't get my hands on the Plus batteries, but that will give you, I would say, about 40 minutes tops of flight time. They have a stated 47 minutes if I'm not mistaken, or 46 minutes, but that will give you a slightly huge advantage if you want to fly for a longer time. But that also brings the drone above that 250-gram limit, so that's also something to consider if you go for the Plus batteries. Now, flying with the standard batteries here, I was actually peaking at 29 minutes at tops when I was getting as close to optimal conditions as I could when I was flying this in the forest. And with the small size and the batteries being extremely lightweight, it's easy to grab a few of these and just throw in your pocket or anywhere in your bag, and then just get going, and you have some spare batteries for when you need to, fly some more, which every one of us wants to do every single time we're out with a drone. We want to fly as much as possible, and it's really nice to have a few sets of batteries. Now, when it comes to the pricing of the batteries for the Mini 3 Pro, that leaves us with the reason number 14 to get this drone, and the reason number 14 is the Fly More kit. Now, the Fly More kit gives you 2 extra batteries, a charging hub, some spare propellers, and a shoulder bag to carry around your Mini 3 setup. A single Mini 3 battery is priced at $65 US, and the Fly More kit is $189 US. And to justify the purchase of the Fly More kit, which is more expensive at first, the shoulder bag is something I use all the time. It's extremely comfortable and has some nice quality to it. It's water resistant and holds pretty much everything you need, plus some extra accessories like ND filters or a power bank. You also get the charging hub, which retails for $49 US. So getting all these accessories separately would add up to $218 or $238 US, depending on the shoulder bag you get. So you actually save enough to get yourself a nice set of ND filters by getting the Fly More kit over buying everything separately. Now, moving over to reason number 15, which is wind resistance. There has been so many, arguments about wind resistance and the Mini 3 Pro, and it's not bad in high winds. It's not bad in high winds at all. Now, the Mini 3 Pro is extremely small, tiny, lightweight. It's 249 grams compared to the 800 to 900 gram drones out there. And yes, this has a big say in the performance, but normal flying in windy conditions won't drop your Mini 3. It has a level 5 wind resistance, which adds up to 24 miles per hour or 10 meters a second. This is the official wind resistance specs by DJI. But in reality, and testing done by multiple creators, it can withstand winds up to as much as 36 miles per hour or 16 meters a second. So that's a huge difference compared to the stated specs of the wind resistance coming from DJI. Now, I live on the coast and we have high winds almost every single day. But when I went on my last trip, I took this to the most windy place that I could find. which was the poly lookout. And I can honestly say I had no issues, only a few warnings, just like I get with the Mavic 3 here in Norway. So if we're talking about wind resistance and the Mini 3 Pro, it can certainly handle high winds and your daily tasks without any issues. But you will get some warnings here and there, but this is something that you will get with any drone. Now at the end, it also comes down to how you fly your drone in high winds. Are you careful, or is it just, you know, run and gun and hope for the best? Now moving over to reason number 16, the Mini 3 Pro was introduced with some obstacle avoidance sensors on the front and also on the bottom. So this helps prevent you from crashing your drone when the obstacle avoidance sensors are turned on. So in short, the avoidance sensors basically calculate a safe route and use their advanced algorithms to avoid obstacles in front of the drone. You also have two settings to choose from when you want to use the avoidance sensors. You can choose from the basic stop and hover, and you can also choose the pass by, which will allow your drone to pass by the subject or object either to the left, right, or above or below the subject or object. Now keep in mind that the obstacle avoidance sensors does not work in sports mode, so you will need to fly in normal or cine mode if you want the obstacle sensors to work. Now if you're a brand new drone pilot, or if you really want to get into it as a hobby, the avoidance sensors on the Mini 3 Pro is a big plus for any drone pilot, to be honest. And you can also check out the video on the top of the description for a more in-depth review and test of these sensors. So in the description below if you want to take a deeper dive into the avoidance system of the Mini 3 Pro. Over the past few months, we have seen more compatibility with the DJI RC controller. This was first introduced with the Mini 3 Pro as an option next to the standard RC N1 controller. With the new DJI RC, you can now fly the Mavic 3 drones, the Air 2S and the Mini 3 Pro. So this is a huge advantage for anyone owning the Mini 3, Mavic 3 and the Air 2S, or looking to upgrade in the future from something like the Mini 3 Pro. And why I recommend the DJI RC controller is the screen. Now at 700 nits, you will have no problem seeing the screen in bright daylight. The cons with using a phone, especially an iPhone, is the screen dimming down to prevent the overheating. And this will give you zero visibility and could potentially be dangerous. This is not an issue with the DJI RC controller. You will have a constant 700 nits on your screen when flying in bright conditions. Now it's also super lightweight and it has the built-in screen, so you don't have to mess around with any cables to connect your devices. So if you're getting the Mini 3 Pro, I couldn't recommend the controller more. Now when it comes to accessories for the Mini 3 Pro, this brings us to reason number 18. So now that this drone has been on the market for more than 6 months, it has given the third-party companies some time to produce a huge selection of accessories. Everything from landing gear to ND filters, hard cases, airdrop devices, and prop guards for traveling, all of which gives you a better flight and travel experience. One accessory is a must-have, and that is ND filters. This helps keeping your shutter down, which allows you to get more natural motion blur, resulting in a better image. A quick example here is you like wearing sunglasses when it's bright outside, right? And you also see better, and what you see looks better. And it's the same for this little beauty right here, but in return, you get a better looking image when using sunglasses for your drone. So that's basically ND filters, sunglasses for your drone. Now I will leave a link down in the description to a video where I explain in details how to use and how to find the correct ND filters for the different scenarios. I will also leave the ND filters that I mainly use down in the description below. So we're now getting close to the end here, guys. We have reason number 19, and this might actually hold you off from buying the Mini 3 Pro, because we have a brand new drone in the making, or at least we have some, or the first leak, which is the Mini 3 Standard. Now these are only the first leaks of the Mini 3 Standard, and there's not much information about it. But what we might see is the exact same camera, but without the avoidance sensors. This means a cheaper price, and we might even see it as low as $499 or $599 with the FlyMore kit. This will most likely replace the Mini 2 and give the customer a cheaper option by sacrificing the avoidance sensors. Now despite this being rumored, I still think the Mini 3 Pro is a better option, and that it's actually not worth waiting a year for the Mini 3 standard. Let's face it, if you should have an accident, you would wish you had those sensors, right? So paying a little bit extra to get the sensors is something that I would highly recommend. But if it's above your budget, then of course wait for the Mini 3 standard. So the last reason to get the Mini 3 Pro is the overall package you get. With the Mini 3 Pro, the RC controller, and also the FIRMWARE kit if you opt in for that. And also all the accessories that you can find online, you are guaranteed to find something that you want to have with your drone, that you don't need with your drone, but you want to have it, you buy it, is turning out to be something you don't use. I have a lot of those accessories. But taking all of that into consideration, everything that you get, it's a no-brainer if you ask me. It's something that everyone needs if you're into drones, and it has its own place. So the Mavic 3 and the Mavic 3 Classic can't really be compared to the Mini 3 Pro. They are two different drones for two different purposes. My personal opinion is that I can use the Mini 3 Pro in the same way that I use the Mavic 3. But for those, you know, doing real estate, photography, and client work on a huge scale, I would probably go for something like the Mavic 3. But for me, the Mini 3 Pro is everything that I need when I'm going out to shoot, whether it's for a small client or, you know, going on a trip or making content here on YouTube. Everything I need is the Mini 3 Pro, and I think this is the perfect Christmas gift for yourself or for a family member if you want to surprise someone with the Mini 3 Pro. So, did I convince you, or was it just the same old, same old? Now, to be honest, I can't address how much I love this drone. And you know, it's just a perfect drone. And this is the best purchase I've done this year. Without a doubt, the best purchase I've done. So let me know if you have any questions related to this drone. Leave them down in the comment section below, and if you have this drone already, what is your favorite thing about it? What's your favorite feature, and what do you like the most about the Mini 3 Pro? And if you found this video useful, consider hitting that subscribe button and the notification bell to not miss out on any future videos. And if you loved it, consider hitting that like button for the algorithm. That would be highly appreciated. And until next time, take care, and I will see you in the next video.